Grace Waller, a senior swimmer at DeKalb High School, says that when she's in the water, she feels at home. But 2 years ago, a serious medical issue prevented her from competing in the sport she loves. It was a battle that put everything to the test. Chuck Garfine has her story.
Having something taken away from you so quickly, I was fine one day at the state meet and the next Monday I went in and everything was gone like that.
For most people, a cancer diagnosis can be crippling, both physically and mentally. But one thing you have to know about DeKalb swimmer Grace Waller, she's not like most people. I
never thought negative about it. It was just, I like to say, a bump in the road that I just had to overcome.
A bump in the road called osteosarcoma, a type of bone cancer in Grace's right leg, diagnosed in November of 2008. There would be surgeries to replace her kneecap and remove 6 inches of her femur, plus heavy doses of chemotherapy that would keep her out of school for 8 months.
There were days where I couldn't lift my head off the pillow. I got dizzy, turning my head, and I was in constant pain for a while. And I still do have pain, but it's just something that I know I'm going to have to deal with, so I might as well just not dwell on the fact that it's there.
Grace and her family were great, and they understood what was going on, and they knew the significance of it and the seriousness of it, and they, fortunately, they were able to put things in a proper perspective and understood the priorities, and their priorities were the same as ours, and that makes it a lot easier. The goal was always to get back to swimming, but it was not the #1 goal, and so that's always makes it a lot easier.
I just wanted to get everything over with. I wanted to know, when surgery was, when I was going to start chemo, what the game plan was, basically how soon until I could get back in the water.
Throughout her battles, she was known as Amazing Grace. There were t-shirts, swim caps, and wristbands made to support her. And yes, even local celebrities like DeKalb native Cindy Crawford got involved. There was also a Make-A-Wish trip to the set of her favorite TV show, The Office. Grace battled her disease with grace.
Here's somebody who never complains. She's never used cancer as an excuse, and even before she was diagnosed with cancer, she's never used any type of pain for an excuse.
Every day was a challenge, but like Brad said, I don't think Grace ever doubted, not once, that she wouldn't be back.
In November of 2009, Grace had finished her 21st and final round of chemotherapy. She was weak, she was tired, and had lost all of her hair. But just 2 weeks later, she was back in the pool, competing at the sectional championship in St. Charles. As Grace put it, there was no doubt I'd be back.
One of my doctors did say, you shouldn't be swimming at this sectionals. It was a meet right after I finished, and I got really upset with her and said, no, I will be, and sure enough, I swam and did perfectly fine.
Grace finished next to last in the 200-meter freestyle that day, but 1 year later, last November, Grace was back at the sectional championship, and this time, she stunned everybody by winning the race.
Just amazing, especially when you look at the difference from last year when she swam at sectionals. That was her goal at the time, to swim at sectionals, and she couldn't dive off the blocks yet. Her knee wasn't strong enough, so she had to start her race in the water. She's bald, she's 2 weeks finishing chemo, so watching her compete there and competing strong to actually winning sectionals 1 year later it was just incredible. It was a dream come true for her.
And in the state finals, Grace went another step further, breaking the school record in the 200-meter freestyle.
I swim in lane 6, so every time I touch the wall, I look up. I'm like, okay, that's what I want, that's what I want. I've wanted that record since freshman year. So finally being able to look up, and that's my name now, it's awesome.
I think for us, it was a lot more difficult than it was for her, and I think a lot of that is because as a kid, I think you just kind of look at things as, like she has said to many people, it was a bump in the road. And she has demonstrated that, in fact, it was, because of the way she's been able to come back from it.
I don't think that I'm amazing. I'm just another teenager that has to go through something else. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Hey.
She's kind of been given her gift back, and she's going to make the most of it.
You feel like you're going to beat this?
Yeah, I've beat it, yeah. It's done.
In DeKalb, Chuck Arfine, Comcast SportsNet.